people of the world. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you are new here, you are welcome. If you are here already, thank you for staying. Please consider subscribing, sharing and liking this video, and also comment in the comment section below. This is a continuation of the first video that we did about Wooorrkkss castle, a little history about the castle. So please enjoy.
Some passion, some food, because in the darkness for about 3 months, later went out. The sun rays affected the eyes of some of the captives. There are 5 compartments, 5 chambers in the male dungeon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the first chamber. Each of 1 chamber like this was occupied by 200 men. Yeah. 16 by 32 feet square for 200 people. The 5 from this chamber to the last one, about 1,000 men. This very chamber was called strong chamber for those who were physically, mentally strong. Because they were strong, they chained them. Putting the chains in the holes on the wall, and that relation was, yes, long chains, normally by the ankles. And again, locked them up with heavy metal door here. There were many, 200 people sometimes, if not always. The dungeon became very hot. Temperature here became very high. When the dungeon was hot and they were screaming, they poured water from the megaphone up to cool down the temperature a little bit. It is estimated that 30%, 3 out of every 10 died only in the dungeons, because communicable diseases spread very, very fast. Once a while, they instructed some of the living to pack the dead bodies of their colleagues in bags, sacks, added stones with the bodies of canoes paddled to some meters down to the bodies into the sea. They added the weight so that the bodies were settled. So sometimes the living struggled with the dead bodies here. See, I may just sit or lie very close by him, because 200 people you can imagine. And I can see, I can feel he's not feeling well because he moves. Meaning he's dying, but I'm helpless. If the moon ceases, touch the body, and the body is cold, meaning he's gone. And if what killed him was a communicable disease like cholera, in few days after I see it. And if care is not taken, all those in the dungeon who catch the disease and die. And there were several diseases here, because they were doing everything to themselves in the dungeon. They defecated here, urinated, vomited, they ate, they slept here. So they were in their minds, with the unkept hair, rotten or decayed teeth, smelling bodies. Some had sores or wounds on them, sometimes from the chains. So imagine the state, the house flies, the mosquitoes, the pain, the hunger, and the anger here. Yes, the dungeon was never cleaned, but rainwater comes in when it rains due to the direction of the wind. From the holes, the water was supposed to flash out. Feces, urine, vomit, blood, food particles, to the trenches on the floor, down into the sea. But the trenches here choked, so feces, urine, vomit, blood covered the whole floor like this. You can't see, don't worry, because you didn't get tired of saying it. This is feces, this is urine, this is vomit, this is blood, sweat, tears, saliva, and a whole lot. And the whole floor was covered like this. This chamber is excavated. Archaeologists came from the University of Ghana, Legon, excavated this chamber, left this for us to talk about. Out of that excavation, they had chains, shackles, ropes, branded iron they used on our ancestors. They were fed, they gave them food, normally twice a day, but little food just to keep them alive. Most of the times, the domestic captives were bringing food for those in the dungeons. But sometimes when those were hungry and the food was not coming, they became very aggressive, very angry, because they say a hungry man It's always an annoying man. So to avoid attacks, they did not come in with the food. Rather, they dropped food from homes like this, down here. Those who were interested struggled for the food in the phases, in the urine, in the vomit. Those who couldn't struggle for food in phases refused to eat. They took them out, forced open their jaws and instruments, speculum oris like a plier, and pushed food in. They forced fed them so that at least they will eat something to keep them alive. Let's work on feces, urine, vomit, blood in the other chambers. The other 4 chambers, as indicated, not excavated, meaning what we are standing on is build-up of feces, urine, vomit, blood, sweat, tears left here by our ancestors. See where I'm standing? It's a little bit higher than where you are. So this is feces, this is urine, and this part of the chamber is higher because of this opening. Because as I just indicated, sometimes they dropped food from this holes. And this hole was again used as a spy hole. And the hole is covered in front of the church on top of this dungeon. In fact, I don't understand the Europeans myself. Why they had their churches on top of slave dungeons. In the Elmina Castle, the Dutch, people from the Netherlands or Holland, established their reformed church on top of a female dungeon. In this castle, the British built their Church of England right above this male dungeon. So the Europeans in the churches worshiping, singing praises, preaching the word of God. Love your neighbor as yourself. Thou shalt not kill. Captives were also in the dungeons, right beneath them, suffering, crying, dying. So if there is something in hell, then ironically, heaven up there, hell down here. They created heaven for themselves, created hell for Africans.
I feel they did that because they saw nothing wrong with being Christians and enslaving others. Because at the time the Pope even justified it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll agree with you. Maybe I'll agree with you. And one thing was Africans were not considered as humans. Because they got to a point they said Africans have no souls. But they were sleeping with them. So the bricks beneath is supposed to be the original flooring. And as indicated, covering the bricks is the carpet of feces, urine, vomit, blood, and the last chamber is naturally brighter than the other 4 because of the hole here. I indicated that they burnt marks on them. On the ships came and the captives were about to be loaded. In this last chamber, they sorted them out, counted them like they took stock to see those who died, those who survived. Hence this open for more light to see marks. After that, those who were strong enough to survive the shift to the new world walked underground from here to the door of no return. The entrance was sealed, blocked off with this wall. They sealed the entrance in the year 1833. That is when the British passed the law to abolish slave trade in their possessions and territories, including this castle. 1833, they sealed the entrance to signify that slave trade is officially over. Over because even after 1833, they were still smuggling captives. The wall here, the blockage, is dedicated to the souls of our ancestors. This is shrine, altar. Africans knew God, had their own way of worshiping Him before Christianity, before Islam. And even today, traditionalists worship the Almighty through smaller gods. We call them apostles, and through our ancestors. They believe these gods manifest themselves through natural objects like stones, rivers, mountains, trees, rocks. This castle is built on a big rock. Cape Coasters were worshipping the Almighty to the rock. The British came, built the castle, and because they came with Christianity, were not allowing the owners of the land, the rock, to come near to pour libation. Cape Coasters came for these 2 stones as part of the rock into the community, worshipped the shrine in town when the British were here. When the British went away, they brought back the same stones they came for, mounted the steps, put the stones on, and they worshipped the shrine again. The name of the shrine is Nana Tabe. 77 shrines in Cape Coast. This one is the eldest, number 1. Normally, when we meet the priest, they say no. It's late and it's gone. That is why there are stools and chairs for those who come here to worship and consult. So the shrine is still active. With the flowers, lady. What's it? They wanted to create the exit into the boats, into the ships for the men here. But who is behind this block? Very rough. They couldn't use it. Created a new one, quote unquote, new one on the other side. Then it became necessary for them to link the dungeon and the exit, constructed in time. During Pan-Harvest, during Emancipation Day celebration, during Year of Return, Beyond the Return, wreaths of flowers are laid in the dungeon in the memory of those who died and those who passed on to the dungeons. Some well-wishers and sympathizers also visit and do same. President Barack Obama laid a flower here when he visited in 2009. His flower was a natural one. Few days after the visit, it dried. Some month ago, 14th of I think January, this very year, President of Hungary, the Hungarian president, visited the castle and laid this one with the name written on it. So next time when you are coming, I will be expecting yours. Anyway. It is time for church service. Let's go to church.
Coming out of the slave dungeon.
Remember what went wrong. It's great. Very powerful. It's great. In everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors. May those who died rest in peace. May those who return at least find their roots. May humanity never again perpetrate such injustice against humanity. We, the living, vow to uphold this. Unveiled by National House of Chiefs. 1992, during the maiden Pan-Harvest, they unveiled this one. Remember, I indicated that some of our chiefs, some of their prisoners of war and so same chiefs happened to be the custodians of our land, right? They gave the Europeans land, sometimes sold these lands to the Europeans, built these several forts and castles. So in my own opinion, without their consent, this evil business wouldn't have been successful. So our current chiefs deemed it wise to build this one in memory of our ancestors. And to me, most importantly, they are telling us that we shouldn't allow such injustice to occur again because many people die in this business. But sadly, we still see this man around. Injustice is still with us in our countries, in our societies. And I entreat all of us, when we see him, we shouldn't keep quiet. We shouldn't say to my friend, not me, so I'm not concerned. Because see, they were keeping people in the dungeons here. Others were living around, going on with their daily fishing, farming activities, thinking that those in the dungeons came from different tribes, not speaking same languages with them. We were not bothered. But see the effects now on all of us. That is why Martin Luther King Jr. told us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And this will take us to the church. This way. Society for the Propagation of the Gospel, SPG Church, First Church of England in the country. As indicated, Church of England is now Anglican Church. Methodist Church Ghana started from this courtyard. Catholic started from Elmina Castle. Presbyterian Church Ghana started from Christiansburg in Accra. The church now Children's Library. The church sits on the male slave dungeon. This is why who we just saw from the male dungeon, the church chamber. As I indicated, sometimes they drop food through this one for the male captives. So see, Philip Kwaku Barrett there was the minister of the gospel, right? Imagine he was passing for service on a Sunday morning, had something like leftover bread. They could just drop it down through this hole. Captives in the dungeons won't struggle for it. After he passed, enter the church, preach the gospel, sing praises like Amazing Grace, which was originally composed by John Newton. John Newton was once a slave ship captain. Later, he repented and became a reverend minister. And as they were singing Amazing Grace in here, they were still protecting their business in the dungeon. And Africans were their business. So as spies stood here and listened to whatever going on. When they were planning to attack or escape, they reported to the British and they punished them. Possibly captives down heard the British here singing, preaching, but they couldn't come out to join them worship. Because the Bible says, if we're in hell, there's no way we could go together. I said earlier, ironic, heaven up here, hell down there. Let's see the governor's residence.
Now you know. Now you know.
Governor's reception area. Governor's reception area. Cannons lined up. Cannons lined up. Cannonballs. Very light cannonballs packed. Downstairs there are mortars, the short ones, and there are mortar balls. The British brought them to defend themselves from other European invaders because the business here, no doubt, very profitable. This very piece of land, because of the nature of the business, this very piece of land on which this castle is built on changed hands severally. The Portuguese were those who first came here around 1555. 1555. Yes, they had a lodge here. They named this area Cabo Corso. The Portuguese named this area Cabo Corso, which means short Cape, now Cape Coast. But the attention of the Portuguese was much on El Nena. So they left, and the people of Sweden came. They pulled down the wooden post, built a fort. They named the fort Fort Carlsberg after King Charles V of Sweden. Within 10 years, through wars, the Swedish fort fell to the Danes, to the Dutch, finally to the British. So around 1664, the British pulled down the fort, started building the castle. So from Portugal to Sweden to Denmark to Netherlands to Britain, 5. And again, West African coastline became one front of the Anglo-Dutch Wars, 1664 to 1668. Same wars were fought in America. You can share with us the original name of New York in America, old name of New York, but don't tell me Old York. Original name of New York. Oh, then that will be your assignment. The next time you come, you submit. New York was called New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam was a Dutch colony. 1664, during the Anglo-Dutch Wars, fell to the British and they renamed New York. Coming from Accra, just about 25 kilometers before you get to Cape Coast, there's a village called Abante. Yes, this we call the castles and the forts Abine. So Abante is like below the fort. You know, there's a fort on your left hand side. The British built that fort, so the fort was called Fort York. Fort York. In the year 1665, just the year after, the Dutch also did well. This time round, captured the fort from the British, and they also renamed Fort York Fort Amsterdam to retaliate what they lost in America. So New Amsterdam is now New York. Fort York here is now Fort Amsterdam. Tit for tat. Yes, you do me, I do you. They filled the cannon with gunpowder. A board fixed, fire up, boom. Some of the boats are with hose, and those with hose were filled with gunpowder. Entered the wooden ships, and because of the gunpowder, exploded. Those without holes entered the ships, created holes in the ships. Water came in, the ships gradually sank. The Ghanaians especially. Let me tell you something about these canons you will hardly forget. But this one is not part of the tour, so you pay me after that. These canons are called in Trio Fancy, I can't Premo. On radio, during 12 midday, yeah, Premoato. They can't speak in FM stations. You hear them say Premoato or Premotobreka Sebo. Premoato means cannon fired. The Europeans, when they were around, fired one of the cannons, boom, every 12 midday to alert people around that it was 12 midday because watches were not common. That is why it has become a norm until date. You hear on radio Premoato every 12 midday. Now I trust most of the presenters do say, but they don't even understand what they talk about. So when you meet them, you educate them and charge them. At least take your entrance fee from them. Let's see what the governor leaves. Governor's residence.